take you to that now. Opposition parties have submitted a notice to move a no-confidence motion seeking the removal of the Lok Sabha Speaker under Article 94C of the Constitution. Now, what does this mean? The notice has been handed out to the Secretary General of Lok Sabha and it has the backing of 118 opposition MPs. What's peculiar here is that Rahul Gandhi has not signed the notice. Congress sources say that respecting the dignity of the parliamentary democracy, it is not appropriate for the leader of opposition to sign a no-confidence notice against the speaker. However, sources said that TMC refrained from signing the motion as well. Now, Lok Sabha sources say that notice will be examined and proceeded as per rules. However, a factual error in the notice has now emerged. It is mentioned the year 2025 instead of 26, raising the possibility of a rejection. The opposition soon then submitted a revised notice. The opposition has cited multiple grievances, including repeated denial of Rahul Gandhi's opportunity to speak, suspension of opposition members, and also alleged selective action by the chair. The move comes after consultations amongst the India bloc leaders who also raised concerns over BJP MP Nishikant Dubey's remarks, controversial claims suggesting women MPs posed a threat to the Prime Minister, etc. Meanwhile, BJP women MPs have written to the Speaker, Om Birla, demanding action against opposition MPs who ghirawed the PM's chair. So now it's become a big kissa of who do you really believe? Let me go back to Aishwarya on this one. Aishwarya, all right, before that, let's also play out one of the reactions that have come in from the parliament.
My stand is we should be seen as someone more, and we are. Otherwise, what is the difference between BJP and us? We have always represented and are always tolerant. We have always shown restraint. We have believed in the ideologies of Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Swami Vivekananda. And we also has immense respect for the chair and the institutions these legends or the revolutionaries of the countries have created. So our approach has always been constructive, always been calibrated. Instead of trying to flex muscles, we want to give an opportunity to the chair. If our issues are not addressed in 3 days, then we can always move a no confidence motion against the speaker. There's no problem. So there's no place for ambiguity or doubt.
आप जानते हैं 4 फरवरी को क्या क्या हुआ, पूरे देश ने भी देखा है और वो निंदनीय कथा थी क्योंकि ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए था। उस दिन टेबल पे चढ़े सांसद और वो बहुत गलत दिखाता है क्योंकि हम यहाँ पे लोकतंत्र के लिए आए हैं, काम करने के लिए आए हैं। जो हमारी डिमांड्स हैं, जो हमारी मांगे हैं, बहुत तरीके होते हैं उनको सामने लाने के, उनको मांगने के, सही तरीके होते हैं। वो बहुत गलत तरीका था। फिर उसके बाद महिला सांसद हमारे ट्रेजरी बेंच की तरफ आई, पीएम जी के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के पूरे चेयर को घेरा उन्होंने, ये सब बहुत गलत है। और मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जनाऊंगी अध्यक्ष जी का, ओम बिरला जी का, जिन्होंने इसको संभाला, बहुत अच्छी तरह से संभाला। प्रधानमंत्री को रिक्वेस्ट किया कि उस दिन वो ना आए क्योंकि बात हाथ से बाहर जा सकती थी और वो नहीं हुआ। इसलिए बहुत संयम से हमारे ओम बिरला जी ने इसको संभाला और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है उनका। और ऐसा कभी फिर से नहीं होना चाहिए। जिसके लिए हम आए हैं, हमें वही करना चाहिए।
All right, Aishwarya, now back with us for more on this. Aishwarya, you and I were discussing this the day it happened, and we were talking about the unseen footage. Now, that unseen footage has been put out by the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. At the heart of it, the charge is pretty serious. If you were to float a no-confidence motion against a speaker, we haven't heard of that in the past. So the opposition is pretty aggressive on this one. And number two, I want to point out that at the end of the day, to make the House function is the responsibility of the government, correct? And then if the speaker is not being seen as bipartisan, the opposition is getting riled up on that.
Well, Sonal, the opposition believes that as much as the onus is on them, it is also on the government to make sure that the House functions. And that's the reason why we are seeing today a change in the stance. Let me tell you what exactly has happened. When we speak about the opposition camp, the major players are Samajwadi Party, the TMC and the Congress Party. Now, the Congress Party has been very clear since day one that they wanted Rahul Gandhi to speak on certain issues. He did speak on day one, and after that, the whole controversy blew out. And then we did see how the other opposition parties, the TMC and the Samajwadi Party, they were clear that they want to speak on the budget, and that's why we saw today Akhilesh Yadav from the Samajwadi Party speaking, Abhishek Banerjee from the TMC speaking, but they are also pointing fingers at the government and saying that the government should have given enough time for Rahul Gandhi to speak, and then the discussion on budget would have actually happened. The government on the other side is saying that we are the ones who are allotting you time, but you are not speaking on the subject that you are supposed to speak. But things now have calmed down. We did see how the top opposition leaders have spoken. The finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman will be speaking tomorrow. Her reply in the Lok Sabha will happen tomorrow on the budget.
All right, Aishwarya. India Today at this point that the Lok Sabha Speaker, Om Birla, the man in question and against whom the no trust notice is set to be moving tomorrow morning, will not attend the House until the motion to remove him is discussed and decided upon in the House. Remember, the rules do not require him to do anything like that, but nevertheless, he's decided not to attend the House. Regardless of the government or opposition's effort to persuade him, he will not attend. Aishwarya, how are we to understand this? Om Birla not taking it nicely. He's saying, I'm not coming to the parliament now till the time this charge against me is discussed or not.
No, Sonal, this is not how we should be looking at it. Let me tell you what exactly Om Birla has been saying and thinking. Even today, that meeting took place between Kiran Rijiju and the floor leaders of the opposition parties. Om Birla excused himself because he said that if you want to discuss this no confidence motion, then I should stay out of it. And that's the reason why we are now seeing that the speaker has now decided that he will not be sitting on the chair till the time of finality comes with regards to what needs to happen with this motion. From what I can understand at the moment, the signatures are there, but I do not think when it will go for voting, this is a motion that will get passed, and that's the reason why we are seeing Om Birla as a speaker excusing himself. In fact, let's just look at it as someone on whom allegations have been put, fingers are being pointed. He cannot be a part of the panel. That is the thinking of the speaker, Om Birla. He, in fact, has been maintaining that he tries to make sure that he gives as much space to the opposition as possible. The opposition, however, believes, and especially the Congress party, they believe that he in fact has been biased. They also believe that more time should be given to the opposition rulers, more time should be given to those who really want to speak about certain rules. That is something that we are looking at the moment. So,
Aishwarya, also news coming in, and this is again to update our viewers. It is likely that the motion to remove the speaker will be discussed on the 9th of March. That's the first day of the second part of the budget session as well. And we are getting to know that about 50 MPs will be asked to raise their hands for this purpose. Now, sources also indicating that a no confidence motion against the speaker may be discussed only on the 9th of March at the beginning of the second part of the budget session. So more details now coming in, and the chair may initiate a discussion on the motion as well. So far, we're told about 50 MPs will be asked to raise their hands for this purpose. So all those formalities being worked out in the middle. Parliament hasn't had much functioning over the past couple of days. All right, let me try and see if we can get back to our colleague Aishwarya to give us more sense of what is happening. Aishwarya, they're telling us that the Speaker, Om Birla, has decided to excuse himself from the proceedings when this no confidence motion does indeed come up. So this is serious after having given a faulty letter there. Now, after revising that date, the opposition pretty certain to take it forward, and the date has also been set. The date has been set for the 9th of March. That is the second part of the budget session when the parliament sits in. Now, regardless of what exactly the government or the opposition efforts to persuade Mr. Birla to sit back, it looks like he has decided to excuse himself from the entire fiasco. But what exactly happened here? Let's look at the timeline. For those of our viewers just tuning in, let's understand what happened. Now, last week, the Prime Minister was expected to speak in the Lok Sabha and was supposed to give his motion of thanks on the budget speech, also the President's address that he was supposed to make in Parliament. But that could not happen because of the massive commotion that took place. But let's get more sense of this. My colleague Maria Shakil joins us from the newsroom. Maria, make sense of what's happening here?
Yes, it's very sudden, I would say, and something that we were not really expecting, for the Lok Sabha Speaker to step aside and recuse himself from the entire proceedings of the House. It's only 3 more days left for this part of the budget session to end, and then there'll be a recess, and then the remaining part will begin in the month of March. We are being joined by Manickam Tagore, Senior Congress leader and Member of Parliament. Mr. Tagore, thank you for speaking to India today. My question is, this is, of course, something that we have not seen in the past. There has been difference of opinion between the opposition and the chair, in this case, Mr. Om Birla, but now he has decided that until there is a decision, of course, the decision with regards to the motion, which is the no confidence motion, which is likely to be taken up around 9th or 10th of March, he will not be overseeing the proceedings of the House. How is the opposition viewing this?
Yeah, the opposition, this is an extraordinary step for the opposition out of an extraordinary circumstance for us. Because we need to understand that never the leader of opposition was not allowed to speak for the 2 days whenever he stood up to speak in the motion to thank the Honorable President's address to the Parliament. And it's been a convention. You had been covering Parliament for long years. You know that the Parliament with maybe Sushma Swaraj, it may be before that of LP Advaniji, or before that with Mrs. Sonia Gandhi as leader of opposition. In 90s also, the same coalition government has worked. Opposition leader and the parliamentary affairs minister are two people, whenever they stand up, the mic is given to them. That is the convention of the parliament for many years. But after post-2014, that has been changed. They said that we don't have the numbers, recognized number to be the leader of opposition status. Therefore, it's a only floor group. Therefore, they can't recognize as leader of opposition. Okay. Now, Rahul Gandhi has that requisite number also. But he's been treated badly by the government. But usually whenever leader of opposition wants to speak also, he's not allowed.
Mr. Tagore, the question really is, if you look at the visuals which have come out, not from one source but from multiple sources, for opposition MPs to leave their side of the benches where they are supposed to be seated and cross over to the treasury benches next to the Prime Minister certainly doesn't really augur well for how the proceedings of the House should be conducted.
You know, you had covered Parliament in 2012-11 also.
Yes.
11-12 also. Dr. Manmohan Singh in Rajya Sabha, I can send you a picture of it. I can send you a video which India Today can run it also. There is where BJP MPs have been protesting with Dr. Manmohan Singh when you were giving speeches. They have crossed that line also. So these are all, we don't touch each other, but we protest. That is the methodology of protest in Parliament. We don't hit each other, but we protest with dignity. So it is not that thing that we are crossing that limit. This is that border. It is not India-Pakistan border to cross it. We need to understand that this has happened before also. Dr. Manmohan Singh, I can say, I had beaten it earlier also.
But Mr. Tagore, shouldn't efforts be made from both the sides to really try and ensure that there is some kind of an effort, some kind of communication line between the two sides to let the House function? What is appearing right now is more than the trust deficit, there is a complete breakdown of communication as well.
We need to understand that this is the effort of the leader of opposition, that we should participate in the budget debate itself. Yesterday, if you see in your television, you had run the story of Kiran Reju saying that in confusion, if opposition is protesting, we will pass the budget without discussion. That was the statement of the parliamentary affairs minister yesterday. Okay. But today, we decided that we will go last time to the speaker for his course correction on 4 important things. Okay. And we requested, and leader opposition approached him.
Okay.
And when that was not solved, we were given last option. We were having only one option to move and no confidence against him.
Okay. Something that we have seen also play out in the Rajya Sabha just 2 years ago against the then, chairman of the Rajya Sabha and the vice president, Mr. Dhankar. Thank you for joining us, Manickam Tagore. So, Sonal, thrice in the past, let me give you the dates exactly for the benefit of our viewers. 1954, 1966 and 1987, that a motion of this nature was adopted and the entire proceedings began. Of course, in all these three cases, it was rejected finally. Although the first step is to get the numbers to move such a motion, the opposition does have that number. But given the kind of tension which we are witnessing, if you look at these images and the visuals, Sonal, it also shows that something has gone wrong. That for this kind of movement to happen from the opposition side to a chair close to the Prime Minister, then there are union ministers, from Ashwini Vaishnav to Piyush Goyal to others, reaching out to the opposition MPs, telling them to go back to the chair. Certainly it looks like complete chaos, complete pandemonium, something which has also meant that Speaker Om Birla himself has decided that he will not be on the Speaker's chair, till the time a decision is taken on the no confidence, which is likely to come up only in the later part of the budget session.
Right. But Maria, having, seen Parliament through all these years, one has to say that every time this happens, it means that the back channel conversation has not worked. Back when other governments have also been in power, there used to be always this one or two mantris who were supposed to be the sutardhar. They would ensure, they were pally with the opposition side. They would ensure that they come to a consensus. Is that missing in the current benches? At the moment, are the opposition side and the government just simply not talking, which is why we see such escalation of tension on the floor of the House?
I would not rule that out, Sonal, but look at the construct of this Lok Sabha. It is very different from what, say, 2014 Lok Sabha or 2019 Lok Sabha was. The difference here is, Sonal, that in 2024, the BJP's overall tally did go down. Of course, this is an NDA government which is there. Post in 2024 results, there was a lot of aggression in the opposition. What followed after that was repeated assembly elections and their victories, which went all the way to the BJP's kitty. So there is that tension between the two sides. What is also evident here is that the opposition has decided that they will be showing all the aggression in the run-up to elections, something that we saw ahead of Bihar elections, something that we saw ahead of Delhi elections, Sonal. That is also playing out on the floor of the House. So now that there are crucial 5 state elections which are scheduled for the month of April, May, that's where out of 5, the opposition is in power in close to 3. That's where we are seeing that kind of an aggression play out in the House, something that will be reflected also on the ground in these poll-bound states.
Yeah, but conventionally, isn't the government responsible for keeping the peace of the House? Conventionally, isn't it said that the government will actually ensure that there is consensus and the House runs a particular way?
So I remember that famous sentence that was said by the then leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, that was Mr. Arun Jaitley. He had famously said that the onus of running the House is with the Treasury benches. Of course, that time the BJP was in opposition. But there was also this sense, Sonal, that at that time there was a great degree of camaraderie, a great degree of communication which used to happen between the opposition and the Treasury benches. They would come on talking table. Right now there is that tension which is visible, a complete and total trust deficit, and at the same time, complete breakdown of communication between the two sides. Although, when you enter, at the Makar Dwar or such dwars that are there through which MPs enter, they do exchange some kind of pleasantries. But when it is inside the House, that tension is palpable.
All right, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you so much, Maria Shakil, for joining us with the very latest. When the opposition and the government cannot see eye to eye, who fails? Parliament fails, you and I fail, because our taxpayers' money is actually going into running that Parliament, which is not running because of the heightened tensions.